Okay, Paddy. So last time we spoke, it was at the start of the football journey. Now we've finished the friendlies after the Huddersfield game. It's been a busy off season, hasn't it? You know, and especially off the field. I know, Paddy, you kind of were like dealt. You've had a lot of questions asked of you from the fans about how we're prepping for 25 and everything else. And how's that been for you?
Yeah, I think you're talking about like the requests. So, you know, how can we improve as a club, like you say, both on and off the field? How do we get the stadium full again? And you know, the blue wall voice group has been instrumental in feeding that back. And you know, I can say at this stage, communication was actually one of those things that the fans felt. You know, that they would like to see improving, and we've delivered that with, I think, you know, with every single question that's been asked via the Blue Wall group. I think Blue Voice group. You've answered them. So, some of them are a bit awkward in your answer, but we said we were going to be honest, and you know, you've answered them honestly, and perhaps some of those questions haven't quite been the answers that people were hoping for, but they were honest answers. So that's the communication. We were asked about kids coming free, which in line with, you know, one or two other championship clubs, and we've done that. There was a noticed drop over the years of fans under 30 years old. So there was a special season ticket for 18 to 30s. So we've done that. What kind of team are we going to assemble for 2025? Well, as you can see now, we've finalised our team, and it's a fantastic team, and it'll be a team that should, on paper, be up at the top of the league. And when I say on paper, actually what we've seen in these friendlies and the cup games is a team that are sticking together. And when I say a team, not just a 17 or perhaps 16, which we'll come back to against Huddersfield, but the squad sticking together. And yeah, I can really see that, and that's sometimes very difficult and a little bit nervy for board and for coach when you assemble. I think 11 in. When you have so many new players coming to the club, it's a big challenge to get them all riding in the right direction all together. I think with leaders like Danny Addy and Ben Reynolds, it'd be difficult for somebody not to jump on board with those two lads. You know, full of charisma, great leaders, and I really see that on the field. And for me and you, we actually see it off the field, don't we? Where these lads have really come together as a group. And facilities, that was another ask or request. So you know, for those that haven't been to the club yet, we've upgraded the toilets in the main corridor. So there'll be no paddling around in there anymore. Touch wood. So yeah, I think that's the majority of the requests that we've had, and you know, I'd like now to see this turnaround in the support, and hopefully see this stadium full against Doncaster. That's why we're here. That's what we're doing. We're not doing it for our sake. No. It's for the fans. That's why we're all here. It's for the fans.
And it's, I mean, Paddy asked me a lot actually in the prep for the new season about forecasts of crowds and attendances, and from a personal point of view, I've been a little bit disappointed about some of the numbers. You know, our best attendance was against Huddersfield. It was probably about 1,200, something like that. So we've not only got the quality on the pitch that's been put out, but with the quality of the opposition, with the Burgess brother in there, and you know, a Super League side. So the thing when I answer Paddy will be, well, it might not be this friendly, it'll be the next one. We won't run in the cup. or when we're in the league with Doncaster, I'd just make a point. I was asked this week on the Blue Voice group about IMG, and we haven't had a chapter and verse breakdown. It's really simple. Improve facilities, improve massively digital engagement, but the third one and the biggest one is have average crowds of 3,400 this year. And Paddy, that's got to be our aspiration for not just Doncaster, not just let's get to Doncaster, we can all have a relax. That's why we're doing all this hard work, isn't it? To try and establish that as the norm, come what may, for every game this season.
Yeah, you're quite right. It's and it's not just you, Martin, that assures me before each game when we're sat here, fingers crossed, that we hope we've done enough to up those numbers. And dare I say it, disappointingly, we haven't done it. Perhaps next year you and I have a conversation about, do we include in the season ticket, up the season ticket price slightly, and we know that we're going to have 3 friendlies, and hopefully that'll be. But we'll only decide that if those numbers rocket up and double, perhaps again when we start with the league. But yeah, you're quite right. We play Goole. We thought it would be well attended. It's the first time Goole in the professional. In the professional field, we thought that would be a draw. Not really. Yeah. Dewsbury. So then we start. People start. Yeah, it's the people who said it like perhaps it's the quality of opposition. We play a Super League club. Our team, a virus ripped through our team, putting 10 players out of action. And let me tell you, there was 3 or 4 players that played that weren't 100% because of the virus. And what a performance. A Super League team, like you say, a Burgess, a big Burgess bull coming down to Post Office Road, and he got popped back in the stable, didn't he? And that was a team that clearly stuck together. That got a little bit tasty in front of the main stand. Bring back, people say bring back the biff. We even brought a little bit of biff back, didn't we?
No comment, buddy. No comment. I didn't see anything. But yeah, I mean, that has been a real positive so far. That the lads, whatever the opposition in front of them, have just played with that tough, gritty team, combination, haven't they? They've been relentless defensively. They've kind of been very brave. They look fit, sharp, so credit to James and his backroom team. They've done a good job there, Paddy, haven't they?
Yeah. The friendlies, I suppose, for the coach, and for me, it's a little bit, but they're about looking at combinations. They're about getting the physicality. So you're up to that level at the start of the season, which you have to be if you have aspirations of being at the top. But for the other side, for probably for you commercially, it's for revenue at the friendlies. And I'm sorry to bang on about it, but we just weren't quite there in the stands, were we? But yet we were 100% on it on the field, which has sometimes perhaps has been the other way around, like I was well reminded a few times last year on the terraces when I stood with you, Paul.
Yeah. Look, in terms of some of those things you've talked about improvements, just so people know, season tickets sold 1,010. Last year it was 704. It's certainly something that, I don't think within the back room we're not all backslapping and saying well done, because we're pleased that those 1,010 are backed us.
Yeah. But
we've got to get to 3,400. So that just shows the scale of what we need to do. I've always said to Paddy that come that first game of the season, I mean, it was only not so long since when we played York away in the first team in the season, we had 1,500 there away. It was just the anniversary of that just last week. But people will turn up, I'm sure. In terms of ticketing, you mentioned the kids. Concessions are £15, aren't they, Paddy? We had good take-up of the 18, 20 to 29 tickets. So, to be honest, there isn't a great deal more we can do with that.
No.
I think that's the school's initiative, so just people know. Good work by the foundation, isn't it, there, Paddy? You know, we can all say. Again, I was asked on the Blue Voice group something about what we're doing to try and build up to that game. Well, Ian Hardman, Amy Hardman, they're doing a good job in terms of getting out to every primary school. They handed something out to all 575 kids at Fev High this week, as in a ticket for Doncaster and a season ticket for the year. Ian's asked me only this morning for 500 community club tickets, because that's who they're going to be engaging with. They're going to be at Ackworth, Charleston, and so on, Upton, so on and so forth. So, this push needs not just the club doing things, it needs our best ambassadors, and that's the fans. Yeah. Ultimately, the people who kind of are the best out there in the community and the champions for the club are our advocates, the fans, aren't they?
Yeah.
Paddy,
Yeah.
In terms then, Paddy, of this week's game, we're up against Ince Rose Bridge from Wigan. Again, I'm hearing good vibes. I was told this morning 300 Wiganers are coming over. You're looking forward to that, Paddy. How do you see progression in the Channel Challenge Cup this year?
Just before I go on to Ince Rose Bridge, who incident I know very very little about. I suppose it goes without saying we'll be red hot favourites, but just like the game against Waterhead, just like perhaps playing Goole and Dewsbury, where we'll have been favourites. The squad, the coaches, Greeny, Hardman and Ford, they'll go after that. You can't take these games lightly, no matter how much the fans and us, I suppose, off the field, not on the field, might look at it. But can I just go back? We've been fortunate enough to be hosting the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Which is Hull FC against York Acorn. As you know, I'm a York lad, and I was heavily involved with York Acorn numerous years ago now. But maintain my friendships with everyone down there, and they've decided to play their game down here. Now you talk about ticket sales, they've gone through the roof.
Yeah.
I think the numbers were quoted from you yesterday. They're upwards of 300 coming from York Acorn. Now that's probably as many Featherstone fans came to watch Goole play. So there's interest out there in rugby league, isn't there?
Yeah.
And how many? I mean, you don't have to say on air now, but I mean, the 300 bought from the Acorn is probably more than what you've sold to date for perhaps the Ince Rose Bridge game.
Yeah. So actually, out of the press, Paddy, there's like 550 done. 300 right. From the Acorn, 550 in total. And as we speak, we've sold 30 tickets for that game on Sunday. And I know fans are lastminute.com, which we understand. Yeah. It's always challenging these days financially and everything else. But yeah, it'd be nice. Ince Rose Bridge told me to bring in 300. We'd made them, as we did with Waterhead, we'll make them really welcome. It was funny, I was chatting to a member of the Hull FC club, and they were saying it's brilliant what you're doing kids free, because they probably won't experience that in Super League necessarily. And we're going to be bringing 3,000 on Saturday because of what you've done about the Kids Go Free initiative. And just a quick message to whether you're a Ince Rose Bridge, whether you're a York Acorn or whether you're a Hull FC fan, we're working hard to make these proper days for you. Proper cup finals, proper events. You're our guests for those 2 days this weekend. There'll be food in the clubhouse. We'll be open early doors because, you seem to be taking this as a massive day. Both sides actually. Hull FC have been really pleased about how they've been supporting their amateur club partner and so on. So So yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend, Paddy, and let's hope, I'm told the draw's not confirmed for next week, what day it will be, but if we're lucky and then we can beat the Wigan team, we're really in with the big boys then in the last 16, aren't we, Paddy? So there's a lot on this game for the club.
Yeah, and it's without looking too far ahead. A good Super League draw at home would be good. I suppose the FEV fans and probably the CAS fans would be hoping for a FEV CAS. That'd be fantastic. I was privileged enough to play one of those derbies, and I think it was my baptism of fire. Actually, I think it was my first game. If it wasn't my first game, it was my second game. We went down to the jungle and had a game. So they're really exciting to play. But look, it could be. I think the cup's still. I think it holds some great games locked in there. There's some great games. I remember. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before when I was sat in the York camp, if you like, and York played Lee, and Lee just picked it in the dying minutes of the game, and I was only just reminded about that yesterday when I was talking to one of the York Knight players, and Lee went on to win it. So it just shows you what that cup holds, and hopefully a long run in that would be great. We've got the big squad for it, so we're there for maximising our games, and I think that a couple of weeks after that it's the 1995, and another journey, something else to chase.
I mean, obviously it's not decided yet, but we could play Midlands. We could play Keighley. Either game, will be another step up in terms of the opposition that we've talked about. But the 1895 Cup's really important for the club. We know what the prize is at the end of the year. Whilst the prize money on offer that isn't huge, it's about the fans' day out at Wembley, isn't it?
Yeah.
We all enjoyed it when we played there against York. Well, maybe you didn't at that time, Paddy. I don't know. I know which camp you were actually in. But these are things that just kind of urge fans to kind of like, when we ask that call to action about supporting you, and we do know there's that core support who've been at every game this year, but it's that kind of thing of, encouraging your mate, your missus, your child, your in-laws, whoever. I've had some lovely comments after the weekend from people who've been newbies, parents of kids who the foundation have been out to with our players, and actually once you're bitten here, you do tend to come back. So, a big shout out really to everybody to kind of keep that going. In terms of Doncaster's not far away, so we'll be talking after Sunday then, that big countdown to what looks like quite a challenge, the Doncaster team. I know they've had some injuries in terms of the kind of cup game they had at Doncaster and so on, but they've recruited really well, haven't they, Paddy?
Yeah, Carl Hall's a good friend, and he's no stranger to Featherstone Rovers, is he? Coincidentally, I think I played over half my career with Carl. I was with Carl at Leeds. I was with him here at Featherstone, and I also finished my career at Doncaster for I had 2 years with him. So I know Carl. We speak regularly, and he's been really helpful actually since me taking on this role at Featherstone. He does a similar role for Doncaster, and we speak quite a bit. And he's been really kind in his advice, if I'm honest. So, but back to Doncaster. Yes, they have recruited well. I think they had a virus sweep through them. I think they may have called it injuries, but I think they had something similar to what we had. So I don't think we've seen the true Doncaster team. They played Sheffield and Bradford.
Yeah.
And I think they played Sheffield as well.
Yeah, that's right.
And probably not great results for them. But we're not going to be kidded by that. We know the quality that they've got in their team. So yeah, when you talk about the countdown and the rally and the call, this is what I want to see. That will be the benchmark of, right, this is the serious stuff. Okay, you've had a friendly against a Super League club, but it was only a friendly. This is what matters. This is what counts. if that's how I'm being told it's going to play out, then okay, I'll accept that. That's fine. But I really want to see this place bouncing and buzzing. You know, because it's got to the stage now. If I'm being honest, I need some encouragement that I'm doing something right. It's not just the time I'm putting in. It's not just the finances. It's my well-being. You know, it's my sanity, because I've surrounded myself with the people that I trust at the club. You know, whether that's yourself or Terry Mullaney and others that are reassuring me. Ultimately, their words, and we need actions, and we need this place bouncing, and hopefully this video will encourage the people that are sat on the fence and waiting. I'm not sure what for, but hopefully that will be the game where we see the big crowds return to Featherstone Rovers.
And look, I think Paddy's always understated in how he, in terms of the efforts he's putting in. I'm not talking about financially, and I'm just talking about the 24/7. We're constantly on dialogue, we're constantly in meetings, just trying to better the club. So he'll be understated about the efforts that he does. Please that Donny game, please the cup game. Let's just back the club how I know you can do. I kind of feel like I've been here at games, whether it's the disappointment of the London game, that actually probably had 5,000 in here, or Wakefield last year, or Toulouse is my first year. I've always seen that massive push, at the start of the journey, and our issue probably has been about maintaining that. But if it's only just to protect my sanity, because I keep telling him that we're going to kind of get a turnout, please, we do put a lot of trust and faith in our loyal support and the town, so your support will be very much appreciated. I think just kind of moving forward then, obviously, maybe if we could just chat about some kind of issues that I've come across in the Blue Voice group, Paddy. The kind of, I've been asked a lot about the ticketing arrangement and the no plastic cards. We've communicated a number of times about this already, but we're trying to bring for the first time we've got like a ticketing system that captures the contact information of every Featherstone Rovers fan, and that's a unique position, not just about ticketing, but how we contact you on lots of different things. So if it's a family, we know you're a family. If it's a carer, we know it's a different message sometimes going out to people. If it's 100 Club, it's this, that and the other. So this new ticketing approach is not just about a plastic card. Believe me, it's about what's Paddy started out today with, about communication. So on Saturday, you'll get your digital card. It's if you've left your if you've left your mobile number, it's to your phone. If it's your email address, it's to your phone or to your computer. If you're a bit uncomfortable using that kind of machinery to kind of get in, don't worry, we can print things off. Some people approached me at the weekend about they don't have access to a printer, they didn't have a phone that they feel comfortable with doing. This club will always be open in the shop to kind of help people, right? So it's actually, in my own personal life, like I can't remember the last time I had a card, whether it's going to the cinema or whether it's going to the football or whatever. It's just moving forward. And look, the thousands that it costs us to do this are probably better placed elsewhere in the club, whether it's investment in the team or so on and so forth. So just I'll be expecting that on Saturday. I'll turn my phone off for the day. But I'm sure our fans, I'm seeing lots of positive people embracing that, which is a really good thing. It's a step in the right direction, hopefully much more than just ticketing, just about how we contact people in future. Yeah.
Okay, well is that us done?
I think it is. See you all on Sunday. Come along on Saturday. We've got a big Super League team here. I'm told there'll be 3,000 Hull fans in town. So we will all be Hull fans for the day. Come in here, not the railway, note the Rovers return, come to this club and we'll look after you. Okay.
And I'll be cheering for your cake on.
I'll be cheering for your cake on. And yeah, best of luck to both sides.
Yeah, okay, cheers.
Okay.